You've probably come across one of those stories that leave us thoughtful and unsure of how the human body functions as a whole. Imagine someone you know, a super active person who maintains a seemingly balanced diet, exercises frequently, avoids cigarettes and excessive alcohol, but who suddenly faces a complex and unexpected medical diagnosis. Our first reaction is profound astonishment, questioning how someone who takes such good care of their well-being can face such an aggressive cellular challenge. The truth that modern science has revealed is that preserving our long-term health doesn't solely depend on avoiding those major risk factors everyone already knows. Latest research points out there are small daily habits, things we do on autopilot, thinking we're on the right track, which generate silent systemic inflammation. Today we're going to dive deep and explore 7 of these everyday actions that the vast majority of people consider totally harmless. Stay with me until the end, because I've reserved an exclusive golden tip about something in your bathroom cabinet that affects your lungs. For today's lesson, don't forget to use a notebook and something to write things down. That said, let's continue our conversation. The first point of attention is the habit of storing meals in plastic containers and heating them directly in the microwave oven. Research institutions warn that plastic polymers, when subjected to thermal stress, release microscopic chemical compounds, the best known being bisphenols and phthalates. When these synthetic molecules transfer to your hot food and enter the digestive tract, they begin to act as true imposters in your endocrine system. Current medical literature shows constant exposure creates profound cellular disorganization, a silent risk factor for alterations in sensitive tissues like the breast and prostate. The smartest and most definitive preventive step you can take today is to replace synthetic containers with tempered glass containers. Another behavior frighteningly normalized in our society is taking your cell phone to bed and consuming content until your eyes get heavy. The focus of sleep medicine's concern is not necessarily on connectivity, but rather on the strong emission of so-called bright blue light. This artificial light reaches the retinas and sends a biological alert message to your brain, stating that the sun is still shining, which abruptly interrupts its melatonin production. And here lies a major myth to be debunked. Melatonin is not exclusively for inducing sleep or relaxing the mind. It acts as our most potent nighttime repairer and antioxidant. It is precisely during the deepest phases of rest, guided by the correct levels of melatonin, that your body performs a rigorous internal inspection, neutralizing toxins and repairing cells damaged throughout the day. When you block the natural release of this vital hormone through screens, you simply shut down one of the most efficient mechanisms for protecting against premature cellular aging and the development of mutations. The advice from experts in circadian rhythm biology is to establish a simple nightly ritual, turning off devices about an hour before bed and ensuring a dark environment. This restores your body's extraordinary ability to self-repair while you rest deeply. Moving on to our list of preventative care tips, we need to pay extra attention to those quick food choices we make after strenuous physical activity. I'm specifically referring to those industrially produced protein bars and shelf-stable shakes that boast attractive packaging and promise health in every serving. The reality revealed on the labels is that a large portion of these items fall into the category of ultra-processed foods, containing a heavy load of additives and especially chemical emulsifiers. Robust research in the field of gastrointestinal health has shown that regular consumption of these texturizing agents can slowly wear down the mucus layer that protects the walls of our intestines. When this thin, vital protective barrier loses its structural strength, the intestine develops a state of hyperpermeability, allowing unwanted microorganisms and inflammatory particles to reach our bloodstream. This chronic state of low-grade inflammation has been strongly correlated by modern scientists with the growing statistics of serious colon problems, affecting an increasingly younger population worldwide. The safest strategy to recover your muscle fibers without harming your microbiota is to return to essential nutrition. Prioritizing whole foods, choosing to combine boiled eggs, fiber-rich fruits, or a variety of seeds provides the clean energy your body truly needs to thrive and defend itself. And speaking of our digestive system, it's crucial to remember that this major processing pathway begins long before it reaches the stomach, which leads us to a detail that almost everyone ignores. When we notice slight bleeding in the gums, the natural tendency is to consider it trivial. However, integrative dental science warns that chronic gingivitis keeps your immune system in a state of maximum and continuous alert, unnecessarily wasting vital energy. The bacteria present in this local inflammation find an easy path to the bloodstream, spreading inflammatory mediators throughout the circulation, and generating cellular wear and tear in distant organs. Recent, highly credible studies have drawn surprising parallels between this constant inflammation in the oral cavity and a statistically higher risk of severe structural disorders in the pancreas and esophagus. Overall health and strengthened immunity undeniably begin in the mouth, requiring regular visits to the dentist and close attention to the first signs of sensitivity. Moving on to the kitchen, There's another very strong cultural custom involving how we prepare and enjoy our meals, especially when using high-temperature equipment. I'm talking about that preference for meats, with a very dark, crispy surface, or bread that's slightly overcooked on the griddle until it forms an attractive crust. What food safety guidelines teach us is that when carbohydrates and proteins are subjected to excessive heat until they turn black, an undesirable chemical reaction occurs. This overheating process generates the formation of a widely studied substance called acrylamide, which acts as a silent stressor for our genetic material, DNA. Continuous and prolonged exposure to high levels of acrylamide overloads the ability of our cells to multiply healthily and orderly over the decades. The advice from nutritionists and scientists is to prioritize gentler cooking methods, such as steaming or oven cooking at controlled temperatures, removing foods from the heat as soon as they are lightly browned. Moving from nutrition to personal care, we need to turn our attention to hair treatments, which often mask complex chemical compounds in their compositions. It's extremely common, especially in women's routines, to frequently use straightening treatments and heat treatments that promise long-lasting results. The major physiological issue is that our scalp has a rich vascular network and functions like a sponge, absorbing synthetic compounds in record time. During the application and use of the flat iron at high temperatures, these formulations release invisible vapors that are rapidly inhaled and absorbed through the entire skin barrier of the head. Impactful epidemiological research, published in recent years by leading global health institutes, has identified a significant correlation between the continuous use of certain hair cosmetics and systemic imbalances. The data suggest an increased risk of cellular changes in the reproductive system, including the uterus, in women who undergo these procedures repeatedly and for many consecutive years. The most prudent preventative recommendation for those who value longevity is to maximize the interval between chemical applications or invest in transitioning to natural alternatives. Your body possesses a fantastic biological intelligence to readjust, but reducing the synthetic load we apply externally is the smartest strategy to protect its defense systems. Now, we've reached a point of heightened attention and our golden tip, involving a habit that happens daily in your bathroom. Many people routinely use aerosol products, such as antiperspirant deodorants, hairsprays, or synthetic air fresheners, without realizing the direct impact on their breathing. These products are loaded with volatile organic compounds, and when activated in an enclosed space, they create a dense mist of suspended microparticles. When breathing in that environment, these invisible substances bypass the natural protective filters of the nostrils and reach the most delicate areas of the lungs. These substances then enter the bloodstream immediately. To avoid this stress, the golden tip is to create your own air purifier. In a glass spray bottle, mix 100 milliliters of grain alcohol and 100 milliliters of filtered water. Add 20 drops of your preferred essential oil, such as lavender or eucalyptus. Simply shake well before use and spray in the room. This mixture evaporates in seconds. The alcohol helps neutralize odor-causing bacteria, and the botanical properties gently purify the air. In addition to perfuming your home, you eliminate the inhalation of fumes and protect your lung tissue from chronic inflammation. Building a solid and lasting vitality is made precisely from these small daily adjustments and more conscious choices that add up positively. Take a great act of care for the well-being of those you love today. Share this video right now to spread this protective network. I kindly ask that you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and activate notifications so we can build this journey of longevity together. I would love to see your comment below telling me what you thought of this recipe and if there are other habits you've incorporated. Always seek the guidance of your trusted doctor before making drastic changes, and remember that prevention is the best investment we can make. A big hug, and see you tomorrow for more valuable tips like today's. Bye.